nutrition is the biggest thing, because even if you're taking your medication and you don't have your nutrition intact, there's nothing that you're doing. You're just destroying your body. So hizo vitu unaonanga watu anafanya, sijua salt bath, unakaa hapo ndani, inasaidianga sana
kabisa.
Kuna mwingine 48-year-old sickle cell warrior anatumia biophototherapy, ni machine fulani ya light therapy machine. Anatumia tu kueka kwa mwili hivi, like your light inasaidia the cells to be in an optimum level. So if you're doing a salt bath, unasaidia your cells to be at a more optimum level. So unasaidia your wellness.
There are people who don't understand these things.
They don't.
You tell them and they're like, hiyo sasa itakusaidia aje?
Kwanza hata ukiwa na crisis ukunywe beetroot juice for 3 days, mwili iko sawa. Ina detox mwili haraka. You'll see like your urine is really conk. But after that, mwili imerudi. Baobab powder pia.
Baobab. You should just try me those things.
Iron. Mabuyu husaidia sana.
Haya, for real?
Yes.
Mabuyu is easy to eat.
Buy to your powder. Hata ukiwa unapenda uji unakoroga ndani. Or if you just want to take it daily, just in like warm water, unakoroga. Inasaidia. You have to know what to balance it with. Like for example, antibiotics. Balance with maji ya dania. You know?
Imagine.
Yes, it helps the system to clear out those things like the kidneys.
Like salads.
Yes, so just boil dania, maji yake, funikia for some time until it cools down, sieve it, drink it for like 2 days. It does amazing stuff, even clearing jaundice and all of that.
You know, you should write a book.
These are the things that I want to teach people, but
you should still write a book.
Okay. All right.
Tracy's cheat codes.
Cheat codes.
Cheat codes.
Cheat codes. Okay. Yeah. They're those cheat codes, and for me, the biggest cheat code is the mind. Once you're able to.
The mind is. Yes. You just need to tell the mind what it is, and the mind goes that direction.
Yeah. Welcome to Crimson Courage. Today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Trixx. She's a sickle cell warrior. She is so successful. She is a designer, so talented. And we're here to talk about what it means having sickle cell and thriving in life. Karibu sana, Trixx.
Thank you, Tracy, for having me. Like she said, I am Teressa Adhiambo Ouma, but you can call me Trixx. That's my street name. I'm a fashion designer. But other than that, there are other things that I do on the side. I act in church, I sing. Among other talents I have, I play keyboard, and I try to at least teach children once in a while. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. You're really tapped into your community, being active and all of that. Maybe I can just ask you, when it comes to having sickle cell anemia, what would you say the definition for you it is, or what has it helped you to realize about yourself that you feel without having sickle cell, probably you would not have, realized you have that kind of strength or that kind of talent?
I'd say strength, resilience, especially the fact that the disease does take us back a lot. If you fall sick, there's 3 days of your life you get, or a week or a month, depending on how bad the crisis is. So I'd say resilience is the one thing that I've picked from having the disease. Now seeing how I interact with other people, I do realize that type of resilience maybe does come from being in certain hard positions and then bouncing back, because you really have to bounce back whether you like it or not. Life does not wait for any of us. You can imagine if you're in primary school and you go missing 3 days, you have to come back, do the notes, catch up, and then, once in a while that happens to you. So just the effect of always bouncing back, that's something I've picked from the disease. Yeah.
Okay. So getting like for you, definitely there's no, that bottom that you cannot come out of. And so going back to school, experiencing that, you're in and out, did you really understand what's happening to you, or how did you start to understand and accept and overcome what's happening, what's causing you to go home for 3 days and coming back? Yeah.
No one really explained. I became self-aware in high school. In primary school, it was in the 90s. Parents weren't willing to tell us this information, and we didn't have access to the internet, unlike now. So you were just walking around knowing you're not the same as everyone else, but you didn't know exactly what was going on with you. The realization came in high school, I guess, when I realized, okay, yeah, I'm not like the other people. And I had to have the conversation with my dad. I asked him, what made me so different from the rest? And he explained it to me. He was a he was a research scientist. So he explained it to me at least as he would a kid. And I understood that, okay, fine. Like the others, yes, but there's something holding me back. And that's like the cells that I have inside my body. He even at some point showed me on microscope that, oh, yours are not the same, yours are different.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I understood. And then with his help, pole, I came to realize, oh, okay, so this is what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's so cool. So you got at least a visual very early on.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So did that make you maybe more aligned towards certain subjects, like maybe sciences?
No.
Yeah.
No, all I knew was life was short. Because even back then, I knew 18 was the deadline. 18 was the deadline. So when I was in high school, I really didn't take it that serious because I knew if I reach Form 4, that's it. I can maybe pass away at any point. And that's the notion we had. Growing up in the 90s, we had no idea. We were going by what the doctors told you. And back then, we didn't even have communities. You were walking alone in the journey.
Yeah.
So, like, later on is when you turn 18, you're creeping into it and you're like, oh, wait, we've turned 18. Hence, therefore, we can turn 21. Now you keep giving yourself deadlines. I think I stopped giving myself the deadline when I turned 23. I was like, I'm just going to live life. There's no deadline over here. Yeah?
We have that in common. Even me, I remember, I just had that deadline because, I was good in sciences and all of that. I loved reading. And I remember reading about sickle cell. And it was just that one paragraph that, hey, they don't make it past 18. Then I'm like, no one told me this. So I think subconsciously you just have that, no expectation past 18. You're just living for now, and it's not in the positive aspect.
Yeah.
It's in that aspect of fear.
Kabisa.
So how did you overcome that fear? That tendency of living life in fear.
I joined a church group, and I remember I joined a drama band. I remember just feeling alive on stage, and then, okay, I will beat my own horn. I was really good at it. And every time we finished whatever it is we were doing on stage and we came out, people would be like, hey, you guys have done a good job. And then, they'd come to me and go like, hey, you're really good. So I guess that aspect for, hey, there's something to live for beyond what I'm used to. So just being able to interact with other people and forgetting. Because actually that's what I did, just forgetting that, I'm held back a bit, or forgetting, even for a split second, that you're not like the rest. That is what I think gave me the energy to keep going. And you forget about it, especially when you're not having a crisis or a painful episode. Life is so good, Back then life was so good. So I think that's how I overcame it. And I was like, no more deadlines. And plus, I had learned how to take care of myself. I had learned my triggers. I'd learned how to live life without the restraints that the disease came with. Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about some of your triggers, because, sickle cell is different for, different people. Different people have different triggers. They have different ways of managing such and such. So for you, what were some of your triggers according to experience, not according to what you're being told to, avoid, or, persons with sickle cell can't do this, can't do that. For you, how did you experience your triggers?
Some I knew myself. Like, for example, the hydration. Like if you went a full day without drinking water, you just knew, bars. This is it. Or as a kid, I remember running around. It was always, if I ran around too much, and this was at the back of my head, I know in the evening there's a consequence. And it would always, I don't know why attacks come at night. When you just lay down like this, you just find, hey, my back is aching, man, my knee is aching. But as an adult, I think it gets easier because you've realized, wait, these are my limits. Because now with time, you've started collecting information on how, if I run around for 8 hours straight, that's a no-no. But if I run around for 30 minutes, I come back, take a break, 30 minutes, come back, take a break, then you realize, oh, that's a cheat code. But now as an adult, there are different triggers that I didn't know were triggers. Bad relationships. If you have someone who's always blowing your phone, where are you? What are you doing? Where have you been? I've been, it's people like that. I've come to realize bad relationships cause crisis. And kumbe, it's anxiety. It's the anxiety that's within and the stress that comes with being in a terrible relationship. So I always avoid, if I always realize the person I'm with is very overpossessive, or they have those tendencies for giving you anxiety, I'm like, no, I'm sorry, this relationship is not for me. It's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, they'll be sleeping 8 hours, you over there, you're going inside the hospital. So I've come to realize also, as an adult, that is it. So even at work, I try, when a client is someone who gives me anxiety, in all honesty, I'd communicate to them and just tell them, you have to trust me with this project. You don't have to blow up my phone all the time. But if they don't understand that boundary, imagine cutting people off is not a bad thing. Wow. It's not, they'll pay you your money, yes, but you'll spend like 100,000 in hospital. It's not worth it. Yeah.
Wow, okay. You've talked about cutting people off. And when it comes to your work, let's just be honest. In the Kenyan aspect, fundi, we don't trust fundi. Like a designer, definitely someone comes to you with like the amazing body of work. And I love how you do your design, so unique, like nothing is repetitive. So how do you, create that boundary of this client will not stress me, this client will not cause me to have those flare-ups of anxiety, and also you remember timelines. Yeah.
Yes, so being organized. Although sometimes it does seem I'm not very organized, but I'm still organized. Okay. I always have a to-do list. And if in the to-do list I see it spilling over, I'll honestly communicate early and just say, well, this is going to take us longer than that. And if I can take on more workload, yes, I'll take on more workload. But I'm realistic with myself. I'm like, this one wants a complicated dress done by Friday and they've come in on Tuesday. If I have the capability, and I know I have the capability, I'll be like, yes, come in, like on Friday and pick it up. And if I know I don't have the capability, in all honesty, I'll just say, it's a short deadline. We cannot help you. I'm sorry. Sometimes letting go of that small cash is worth than you losing a client if they are angry that you did not beat their deadline. So I try to do things within my reach without it spilling over. And then I also told myself one thing: I would never transnight. I used to do it as a youth, but in my old age, no. I'm like, no, I can never do work overnight. It's just not worth it. Yeah.
Okay. And when you come to working with a team, because I remember when I visited your shop, you had like people working for you, and that aspect of sickle cell, having someone you can rely on, to get the work done, or to even understand you, where you're coming from. How do you go about that? Trusting a person enough to onboard them on your team.
Ni God. I know it's a silly answer, but imagine ni God, because when I look at, I have two assistants. Both of them, they're different. One is a Christian, the other one is a Muslim. But I think what brings us all together is the ethical thing inside our heart. Utu, what's it called in English? Yeah. Kindness. They are kind, So, and thank God I've been open enough with them to just tell them, by the way, I'm not like other people. There are days I'll disappear. So, but I do make sure when I feel this is definitely going in a bad direction, I'm going to disappear. Like, there's a system. I tell them this is what needs to be done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, I know we can't fulfill all the deadlines or all the complicated things when I'm not there. The ones that they can do, I organize and I'm like, we need to do this. Here are the patterns. Do this. Here's the client. The client's number is this. And then thank God they're honest. They'll always tell me this has happened, this has happened. And then now I can go. And they say, only call me when it's urgent. If it's not urgent, do not call me. Okay. So that's now like for a hospital visit. But now, like when I'm in hospital and maybe the shop is burning per se, they'd call me and they'd be like, this has happened, this has happened. And I'll have to be honest with the client. Like if I know I'm going to disappear for a week and I was to meet you on Wednesday, Tracy, I'd tell you, okay, is your outfit urgent? If you tell me it's urgent, I'd be like, okay, if it's urgent, we'll try to get it done. But if it's not urgent, kindly wait until maybe the next week or the next week but one.
Yeah.
So that it's also done really well.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to communicate. Communication really saves a lot of face, yeah.
Yeah, and you've spoken about communication both at work and in relationships, so that it's not triggering that anxiety. So one of the triggers for sickle cell crisis or us just not being okay is stress.
Yeah.
How do you deal with stress, or how do you start feeling, that trajectory of, hey, if I'm not careful in 3 days' time, things will not be okay? Because, we understand over time how the body is. Yeah, the body of our warrior.
I try for things not to faze me. And I'm not talking about, no, honestly, when I see this is, I don't know, I've just learned how to handle it. I don't let it get beyond. Things don't faze me so much. Okay. I if I see it's a problem, I try to tackle it. If I can't tackle it, I'm like, hey, by the way, I've tried tackling it, it's not working. I try for it not to overtake my mind. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes sense. Is there a time within your sickle cell journey you've gotten so low? You understand, there's that point where someone gets there like, wow, this thing will not change no matter what I do. Or maybe I'm putting my best effort, taking my medication, diet, nini. But despite that, maybe it's my birthday or it's the day I'm supposed to meet a big client and I'm down. Has that ever happened to you? Can you remember your lowest low? What happened at that time?
There's two aspects to that. First aspect was I was in hospital. I had done everything. It was not me. It just came. And then my mom came to my bedside and then she started saying, now you're not drinking water. You're not... And in my head, I'm in the bed, I'm like, does this woman even know? And then, ilikuwa imenifika. I was like, I just felt myself saying, hey, let me deal with this one. I'll come back to the sickness later. And I was like, no, you can't blame this on me because I've done everything to the book. And I've done everything to the book. It's not my fault. So if I am sick, I'm unwell here, I've tried everything. This is a thing that also happens. Whether I like it or not, this is a condition that will always bring me back here. So do not make noise at me. I think that was the first and the last time she ever came blaming me for being sick. Because I had explained to her, no, you can't blame me for this. Then the second time, this one now, honestly, now it was a battle within myself. And I was like, man, how is this thing pushing me back again like this? Then, sometimes you are supposed to be paid, and then you've been paid, yes, and then it's going to bills, and you're like, oh, my God, why? Then when you get out of there, there's a heavy feeling in your heart that's just tugging at you and is saying, why are things like this? Why are things like this? I try not to entertain that thought, in all honesty. I try also to be honest. If I'm sick, I've been bedridden for a week in hospital, then I come back home and I'm bedridden again. I try not to be bedridden, to be honest. I would rather even you pull the mattress, put it in the sun. I sit there for like a while. I try to sit up and watch a cartoon. Like I just try not to just circumnavigate the bedside, because there's a tendency that when you're in a small place and you're not moving, the depression hits you the hardest. Yeah. So I try, in all honesty, not to not to be in a dark corner for too long. And it does weigh heavy on my heart. And sometimes I try not to think about it. But there are days you wake up and you're like, no, why? And I guess community helps. People you share your stories with helps. Because you're like, hey, hii kitu inanimaliza. This thing is finishing me. What are you guys thinking? Are you guys also ever in a position like this? Then you hear people saying, yeah. It's terrible. Because it's a yo-yo. Just so you understand, it's honestly a yo-yo. One time you uko chini, another time you're up. And it's a yo-yo you can't even control.
And yeah, it's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. You know, I always try to explain to people and tell people, you know, any person has that inbuilt over the years confidence in their body being able to carry them through anything. Unless now if they get diagnosed with a certain condition, it's like, wow, you know, changed life. But now imagine whereby you're in a position whereby you really can't trust in that body every day unamuka iko sawa nini.
Can't.
So, and then also there's that internal voice that comes, and I realized it's after listening to a lot of external voices. The doctor telling you, you know, if you don't take medicine, this will happen. Your mom telling you, you know, if you don't drink water, why didn't you eat mbogas? Like the way you were being told, you'll fall sick. So now it's that kind of realization or concept in the mind that, you know, she's fallen sick, it's her. You didn't drink water, you didn't eat this, you didn't do that, you are outside, you didn't, you know. So it's like, wow, what can I do? Because I'm a warrior. Honestly, I have healthier habits than any average person. Warriors have healthy habits. You know, they're checking their food, how they're eating. You know, they're drinking enough water. They're on top of their medication. They're on top of their mental health. And you're surviving despite that. So actually, what I usually want people to understand is that actually look at me as an inspiration. You should not look at me as Woishe.
We hate Woishe.
Because if you are in my shoes, you would not be shining the way I'm shining right now. Yeah. So even when it comes to like institutions that are supposed to help, like let's say church or such and such, you know, there are some certain concepts that you look at and you're like, where is a person's mind? Because if you enter like a place that's supposed to be helping, you know, driven in acceptance and all of that, yet they're the ones judging. Like, for example, let's say a scenario where a prostitute walks into a church. You might find, anamkimbiza kumfunika na leso. But doing that in the first place
can also drive her away.
Yes, you've already driven her away. Maybe she's come to report that your pastor is the person who is, you know. So you've already created a problem by being part of the problem because you've already shamed her. If you're seeing someone who's in crutches and you're like, enda mbele uombewe. Yes,
there's
that's
an aspect
the wrong
of church,
mindset,
by the way,
because
that drives sicklers away.
Yeah, because it's like you're thinking that your God is more faithful to you or bigger to you than this other person. But it's actually the reverse.
I can see you've been there.
Yes, the fact that I'm here, I've dressed up, I've shown up to church, despite everything that I'm going through, means that actually you should look at me as an inspiration. You should look at me as a source of strength to inspire others. And look at me as, how can we be able to support more your community? And I respect people who are in industries that are supposed to help, that are actually helping. Does your church have a sign language interpreter, for example? Yeah?
They've tried though. But the inclusivity, I do understand, is something that they need
to work better on. Yeah. So, I don't know. I've gone off on a tangent, but yes. Basically, the whole concept was, at that point when you're feeling very, very low, what helps you to claw out of it? What helps you? Because there's always in every warrior's life, there's that one time That and even if you remember, you're like, well, I made it past that.
Wow.
Yes. What made you crawl out of it?
I don't think I've even crawled out of it, let me be honest.
Yes.
I think I just keep pushing it aside because it's a thought. I've been depressed before and it was really bad. But I realized it's because I was really thinking hard about it. So, and I've not dealt with it. I know I need to go see a therapist. But it's mentally draining, especially that I shared with you. It's a life and death situation all the time. You know how daunting that can be. I've not really fully dealt with it, and I don't. It's because I don't really want to think about how delicate life is. But life is delicate, I think, for everyone. More especially delicate for us. Just dealing with it, I'm not sure how I've dealt with it. I've not really fully dealt with it. Yeah.
Okay. But I feel you already know the answer because you've spoken about going and, to see a therapist to talk about
Yes.
it. That's something you should do. It's not like a sign of weakness. Us warriors, you're like, yeah, because that's us. We're used to, pushing through things and all of that. But just listen to yourself. If you've gotten to the point of saying out loud, I need to go see someone who I can talk to about this. Self-love means actually taking that time within your day to call someone, book a session, and say, I'm going to show up. Yeah, that's you loving yourself.
I need to.
Yes. Yeah, so love yourself. You're doing so well, and you're such an inspiration. And people depend on you. In your business, you're already paying people. So pay yourself with that self-love. And I wanted that person and talk. Yes.
I should go see a therapist, yes.
Okay. All right. But I'm loving this conversation so far. Do you have a question for me as a fellow sickle cell warrior or something you've always wondered?
Yes.
Yes.
You dealt with relationships before?
For me, when it comes to relationships, I'm very careful. I'm very careful. Ikifika your level where it's draining, I'll just step back. Because I say generally I'm a good person. I like to help. I like to understand. If there's a problem, I'm not the one causing the problem. I want to solve it. So now it gets to the level where it's draining. I get to the point of saving myself first. I have to save myself first. I can't save the other person because when it comes to relationship, everyone has a role. So if you're the one who's saying, mtu ananionea, what were you doing? You had a role to play in it because you put yourself in that position of, someone always, pulling you down and something like that. So it's all about showing up for yourself.
Would you say being a warrior means you have to be selfish?
Yes. I once had that before. I was told that by a certain warrior that we are selfish. Then I was like, okay, what does that mean? But now it makes sense. You have to be selfish.
You have to.
You have to
come first.
You have
in all
to.
honesty, yeah.
Yeah, because the fact that I've had to be selfish. To even being selfish means looking at your situation and seeing how to solve it. And not solving it in the way that other people think you should solve it. Solving it in a way that will work for you.
Yeah.
So, for example, as I shared with you, I had a leg ulcer. And there's those protocols of leg ulcer. Do this, do that, do this. Then for me, I was like, no, I don't think that will work for me. According to my body, I think oxygen therapy will work for me. And I completely shut down everything. I was not taking calls that I did not have to take. I was not thinking about things that will drain me or I don't have to think about.
Yeah.
And within those 20 days, 20 sessions, something that has disturbed me for the whole of this year, it fixed itself because I put back the energy on myself.
Controversial, not listening to a doctor.
No, because the doctor told me, this is crazy. This won't work for you because you have sickle cell, which is an underlying condition. And I was like, no.
There's a time I did refuse to listen to a nurse because it was a situation I had been in before. I had a crisis. Have you ever gone to hospital just because of one limb? Until like it was an arm crisis. And if I could just chop it off, ikae peke yake, and me, I walk away, I would have just been okay. So I walked into the ER with an arm crisis, and then they put the BP machine on me. And I knew this is a bad idea. Why are you putting the BP machine when I'm having an arm crisis? So they did it anyway. And it ended up not healing for like an entire month.
Yeah, because they've
Because now, they're also preventing the oxygen. They're just making the situation worse. I don't know why doctors don't know this. So the second time I was in the same similar situation, I was like, no, you find a way of PMIing the BP. Just find another way, but do not touch where it's aching.
The problem is, in life people like to think there's a certain level that you can reach and all your problems will be solved. Like, let's say you'll have a certain job, drive a certain car, marry a certain kind of person or lady or whatever, see the best specialist. If I'm seeing the best specialist, like let's say in Kenya, to deal with like issues of blood, a hematologist, the brain really wants that is the solution, that is the person that's supposed to help you to heal. But it's not like that. This specialist is also running a business. For me, my eyes got opened when I realized for every test that they send me to the lab, they're earning a certain commission. So I was like, we are Kobe's peer. Yes, maybe they are helping me because they've studied for medicine and all of that. But at the end of the day, if I feel something is not working for me, it's not. And most likely this person maybe in a day is seeing like 20 patients. So why should I put my whole trust and well-being to this person who's just looking at me maybe for 30 minutes in a month or in 2 months?
Yeah.
It's a form of laziness because you feel you've worked hard to a certain level to afford a certain doctor, a certain specialist. When you pay them money, they should give you value. It's not like that. You have to give yourself first that value.
Yeah.
You have to be honest with yourself to look the doctor in the face and tell them, this medication doesn't work for me. What will help me heal is this. And you go
learning your body.
Yeah, and you go and you do it and you decide it will help me to heal. And you allow your body to heal itself. You trust your body.
I do believe in eating well. I do believe in... Pardon.
Sorry.
But like in a week, I do make sure there's something I've eaten that will boost the blood. I moved back to my mom's house and I realized them they're just eating to survive. But me, I had stayed for a while on my own, so I knew if I'm going to buy or make a meal, I need to at least know, okay, what am I going to benefit from this meal? And if I don't benefit from this meal, how can I add a fruit on top of it? Or how can I eat better so that it's benefiting me?
Yeah.
So even when we're making a meal and I find maybe something is missing, I'm like, okay, they can eat that. Let me go add something else on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So apart from medication, is there a certain regimen that you have to help your body to heal?
Heat.
Okay.
Heat therapy.
All right.
But it takes a lot of electricity, but it's so worth it. Because I realized in the morning when I wake up and I'm walking around maybe still without socks, like when the cold gets to my bones, I'll find I have issues with a crisis. It's not even fully a crisis. It's just your legs are paining and irritatingly, not unbearably. So I realized the solution for that was heat. And I also came to realize if I sleep with a hot water bottle, even in the summer when the sun is high up there, like for me, it really does give me longevity. I don't have issues with crisis a lot when the blood is circulating everywhere. Yeah.
Interesting. Would you like me to tell you some of the things maybe
Sure,
that I do?
Yeah.
For me, as I told you, I understand my body. Oxygen is a big part of helping my cells to, live longer and heal and all of that. So something that I always have to do is I practice a lot of breathing exercises in the morning, at night, before I sleep. And I got into the habit of doing it and trying out different techniques such that breathing is actually like a painkiller for me.
Yeah.
yes, there's a certain extreme level of, pain that can come. I'll have to take a painkiller. But generally, I rarely do take painkillers. I just do my breathing exercises and a bit of movements, a bit of healing techniques. Like I currently learned pranic healing on like a skillful level. So I'm able to do those techniques on myself. And that's what works for me. And I use herbs. I use a lot of herbs like black seed, which is anti-inflammatory, so I don't get a lot of homas, flus, and all of that. I use lemongrass, which helps also with allergies. I use hibiscus, which helps, the body to create blood.
Yeah.
Turmeric, in food.
How do you do hibiscus? Because I find the taste unbearable.
For me, I don't mind the taste because I'm like, I'd rather take this thing rather than soda, which is sweet, because I know the benefit that it has in my body. So I've gotten to that level whereby I don't even use sugar or honey, maybe just in white tea. So that means I have to cut off white tea because white tea is the one that's causing me to use sugar.
Yeah.
But if I drink my herbal teas like lemongrass, mint tea, I don't use sugar or honey. In fact, I relish in, taking it like that. I'm getting the essence, the scent of it, the taste of it. That's how I enjoy it. At night, because, us warriors, a lot of us have issues with insomnia. So something that helps me is chamomile. I'll take chamomile tea. Yes. Just put the dried flowers in a cup, hot water, it steeps kidogo, I drink.
This is before bed?
I breathe, yes. Or even nikiamka in the middle of the night.
I do remember when you told me about the breathing exercises.
Yes.
Earlier this year. I did at some point have a crisis and I remembered what you said.
Yeah.
And I did try, like just deep breathing instead of panicking. Because I think what's wrong with us is when we get a crisis, we tend to, and then we are not breathing well enough. We're not opening our lungs because we are panicking.
Yes.
And I realized by the way, when you breathe, utter the pain does go down a bit. So at least that's something I learned from you.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just about even moving. Like, if you move your spine like this and you breathe, and maybe you're having pain on your rib side, yeah, you move your body as you breathe.
Yeah.
You feel the air on that side, you move your spine. You allow, because it's all about the blood.
Yeah.
Damu imeshikana hapo, it's causing pain.
Yeah.
Allow it to move. It's okay. For me, I've gotten to a point where I say, there's nothing new. There's nothing new pain can show me. There's absolutely nothing new that pain can show me. So I'm not afraid of pain. Nikianza kuisikia, I'm like, maybe I worked too hard. Let me see how to fix this quickly. Let me drink something warm. Let me breathe. Let me move my spine. Let me stretch. Tainama. Even I use weights sometimes. If maybe the pain is here, I'll use the weight. I understand my body.
Yeah.
I trust my body, because before I was not trusting my body. When younger, Can
I ask you?
You'll get sick. Yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, before you came to all this other knowledge, let's say your knees paining.
Yeah.
Were you the type to rub it?
I was the type to rub it or, get into a hot shower, something like that. Yes, or even, I remember there was a time I used to get a lot of pains at night. So I used to get into like praise and worship, sing, and it grew to what I do currently, which is meditation. Because if you're doing breath work to get rid of a sickle cell crisis, to be honest, you're just deep in meditation. Yeah, so for me, those are just practices that I started when I was young, because that act of, praise and worship, I'm just singing. It means I'm getting my body to a certain resonance, a certain frequency that now we can be able to heal and release and the blood to flow. Yeah. Yeah, so I've built on that. Yes.
Nice.
Is there something for you that, you found like a sweet spot and then you built on that? When it comes to your health and even at work, or even relationships, is there a sweet spot that is just for you, for Trixx? I don't care what people say. They can say I'm mad. They can say I'm crazy.
Running the shower for 20 minutes, just standing under the hot water.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm glad, because thank God now when you have your money, you can say, yeah, I'll pay the bill, just hold on. And you just shower like deeply. You're not even doing anything. You're just massaging yourself under the hot water, so that at least it can release the places that has noted blood, man. Yeah, I do understand. Hot showers do really work, although people complain of the bill, but I think it's worth it.
It is.
It's better than spending 100K in hospital.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just add on for you. For me, I use salt in the bath, Epsom salt. It really helps with elevating that campaign. Try it. Even if you don't have Epsom salt right now, even the normal table salt.
You shower with it?
Yes, you just, do you use that hand glove? Ya kushawa?
Yeah.
Put the salt there, dissolve kidogo. Sugua. If maybe the pain is here, you just massage it. It elevates the pain.
Nice.
The body is a self-healing machine.
It is, but it really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those things that people usually assume, like I saw there was a time within our warrior groups, there was that debate. There was someone who was saying that they use Celtic salt in water to just take care of themselves, and it works for them. They don't get crisis. They're able to maintain their blood levels in a good way. And people were debating and saying, no, this doesn't work, and all of that.
What works for him may not work for you, but it's working for him, so let him keep doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, if you do research, you'll see that Celtic salt actually helps with hydration. So if you put it in your water, your body is actually hydrating itself. It's not, you're not just drinking water to pee. Which is usually the problem with, being told, hydrate. Because you're like, I love to keep going to the bathroom and all of that.
So that's also a plan B.
Yes, that's actually a plan. Because now, if you have that kidogo salt, it helps also the cells with absorption and all those things. Yes, and even getting rid of, any toxicity, negativity, and all of that. It helps. You just have to try. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to lose if you don't try?
So how do you handle social situations? Like, let's say the people are saying, let's go for a hike. And you already know automatically, man.
I just tell them, you see, that hike, it won't work for me because the weather there, it's not good. Maybe Ngong Hills, you want to go in the morning. It won't work for me. When you get down from the mountain, you'll find me there at the restaurant. Tupatane hapo. That's what I usually say. I'm just honest. I just say the truth. That won't work for me. But if you want us to go on a walk on the beach, count me in. In fact, I'll wear my bikini. Yeah. So it's just communicating. Like you said, communication.
Yeah, it does piss me off when they decide to do that. And I'm like, you couldn't find a more inclusive thing for the youth group to do, honestly.
Yeah. So good friendship is actually in listening. Yeah, so just be more assertive next time.
I do voice. I don't think there's a time they've picked something and I didn't voice it out. They're yet to do something that includes people who cannot climb hills or jump up and down. Yeah.
In the spirit of Sickle Cell Awareness Month, is there a message that you'd love to tell warriors, fellow warriors, or even warriors who are younger? Because when you're younger, it all doesn't make sense. The beauty of being a warrior is now when you're older, now you understand more.
It's true, yes. It's true. I guess don't abandon community. Community helps you understand so many other things from so many perspectives that you just try and see what will work for you, at least because the information is there now. I think the guys who are coming up right now are luckier than we were because as we were walking blind for a very long time. At least now there's community. People should not abandon community. People should at least listen to one another and also be encouraged. Like, that person is there. They've done this, they've done that. We have doctors. We have people who are playing basketball. Imagine the other day someone shared There's a warrior that does basketball, and I was like, how? I don't understand. But when you listen to their YouTube, you're like, oh, so now I understand how he does it. And that works for him, but maybe it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
But we were limited. I don't think we're limited anymore. There's too much research and there's too much medicines out there that can help us become who we are supposed to be: doctors, engineers, lawyers, communicators, fashion designers. We should not limit ourselves. We should actually not even listen to our parents sometimes when they say we can't do certain things. They do say you can't do certain things, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it. You should try at least once and see, does it work for you? Does it not work for you? And if you love whatever it is, how can you go around it that it doesn't affect your health in any way? I don't think we have limitations. Limitations are a thing of the past. Maybe just know where your boundaries are, and everyone has different boundaries. No, this is how far I can go. This is how far I can run. This is how far I can climb. And when you're tired, and let's all be honest, me nimechoka, and you just disappear to your
you
bed.
Just sleep.
No one should tie you down and say, no, bada tujafanya hii kama familia. You just say, no, I am tired, and just disappear to your bed. I think, learn to listen to yourself, don't listen to other people. You know who you are because your body keeps telling you.
Yes.
You know, it's funny because our bodies do give us a warning, like, there are times I know you wake up and you're like, naenda kukua mgonjwa. And you haven't even developed the signs and the symptoms of the pain, but you can just feel it. You're like, I need to do something. So I think it's much easier to chart your own path. Don't look at someone else's path, and be encouraged by those who've gone ahead of you. And ask questions. Know what they've done to get there, you know? Don't be in a cocoon.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And that thing of limiting yourself, I think it applies across board, because at the end of it, it's, you know, when you're limiting yourself, you're living in fear.
Yeah.
And if you're living in fear, there's nothing new that will come to you. There's nothing new and positive that will come to you, because you're already living in fear. So definitely you'll get that pain, and you'll be in fear within that pain, and it will probably be worse than even you thought.
Yeah.
You understand? So once you are able to, you know, dance with those limits, start understanding yourself, then that's the point where, as a warrior, someone starts living their own life. Yeah.
Don't ask, why me? Why me? Like, even in a family of 5 and you're the only one, why me? No, you should ask, why not me? I mean, you have the strength. God has given you the grace. Why not you? You're the one who should show others you're much better than them, even despite the challenge that you have, you know? You should go above and beyond. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks so much, Trixx. You're so amazing. I can't wait to fit my outfits. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just love to thank you also for all the information that you've given the listeners, because we might take it for granted that, you know, these are things that people should know. But most likely, because you don't even just know, or maybe you've not gotten the chance to speak about it, or you don't even have the environment to understand such things. So you've given a lot of value. Thank you so much. And welcome again and again to Crimson Courage.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to try on the things I'll have made.
Okay. Sawa sawa. Asante.
Nice.
Sarap.